I hope I
I'll
can
stop.
do that one day.
Yeah, me too. Come on, we
Yeah.
miss you.
You look beautiful, as always.
Somebody went quiet.
Okay, we are all ready, Mark.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bizarro Spiritual Healing Center. We are a non-denominational spiritist center and respect all religions and spiritual traditions. So you are welcome to bring your thoughts and questions throughout this meeting or at any time. Before we start our announcements, we always begin our service with a prayer, and I would like to ask our sister Tanya to take that responsibility.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for your divine presence within us, with us. And happy Father's Day to all of those who are listening to us now. We know this amazing Father, our Creator, is with us, within us, and blessing us. And this morning, Heavenly Father, we want to bless you. We want to bless the greatest Father, the wonderful, amazing Father, the lovely Father, the so careful Father, merciful Father. And you are the most precious, the most important things that we have in our lives. It's such important for us to call Father. We have you, Father, and we can call you anytime. We will never be alone. You're such amazing, amazing, amazing Father that you lend everything that we want to do, you allowed us to do. Anything that we want to be, you allowed us to be. So we believe that we are part of you. We are your children, your daughters, your sons, and we love you, Father. We just want to say this Father's Day, that had to be every day in our lives. We want to say thank you, Lord. Thank you, Father. Thank you for everything. We love you. We are so grateful for your guidance, your protection, your divine wisdom, intelligence, knowledge, your divine love, your divine light, and all those you have prepared to be already in our way. Before even we were born, you ask angels to be around us, surround us, guiding us, protecting us, holding our hands. And many times, Father, holding our hearts, our heads, our soul. And with such love and gratitude in our heart, Father, to you and to all these greatest, wonderful fathers throughout the world. We want to start our Sunday service today. And so be it, and so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. BSH is a member of the United States Spiritist Federation, and our spiritual beliefs are based around scientific, philosophical, and religious principles of Spiritism. As Emmanuel, the spirit mentor of Chico Xavier, has taught us, knowledge and love are the wings for our spiritual evolution. And that is the reason why today's service is divided into two parts. First, we always have someone speaking, sharing findings from remarkable and qualified mediums and spirits, and typically in reference to a published work. And that is certainly the case today. It is really important that you actively participate in your listening. Your spiritual mentor is already supporting you in your needs, and your hearing insights will be carried forward from the speaker. Reflect on what you hear today throughout the week. Listen to the comments of others as well. Contribute if you choose after the presentation, for there is energy being exchanged. The second part of today's meeting is what we call a hands-on healing pass. And again, your mentor, spiritual mentor, is already working with the BSH mediums and benefactors for you to receive appropriate healing energy. I have to find it. Somewhere I have the website. There it is. Okay, so today's Sunday service, 10 o'clock to about 11:15, 11:30 online via Zoom. And all of what you are going to see on the screen is available through that very same Zoom link. Every night at 6 p.m., we have an open forum for daily prayers, typically 10, 15, 20 minutes. You are free to join at any time, bring your prayers specific, or just join in the energy exchange that takes place. In the evenings after that 6 p.m. prayer session, we often offer a book study. Tonight, we are continuing our study of the book Liberation. On Tuesday nights, we are continuing the completion of The Consoler, and in August, we'll start a new book, powerful book, Memoirs of a Suicide. That is in collaboration with the Divine Light Spiritist Group and Sister Sunshine. Wednesday night, we continue our study of Paul and Stephen. Thursday night, we just began our new study of Jesus in the Home. We also offer fraternal counseling. This is one-on-one between yourself and one of the BSH leaders. We reserve the time on Wednesday from 4 to 7 for that purpose, but it's really by appointment only. If you have that need of one-on-one discussion, feel free to reach out via the chat session today or through the website. Monday nights are for the BSH mediums only, or primarily. There's an hour of education followed by an hour of healing services. And if you are an experienced spiritist, feel free to contact us regarding participation in the process of this mediumship meeting. And a reminder for all of us, next Sunday, an hour earlier than this meeting, we will have our annual members meeting, where we'll go through a quick financial review and hear about some administrative update elements. And we now come to the prepared portion of today's meeting, and our presentation is going to be led by our sister Debora Silva. I remind you all to continue to keep yourself muted. At the end of Debora's presentation, we'll come back and have a bit of time for discussion and comments. Debora is one of the original members of BSH. Way back when we met in person, she, in my memory, is more than that. She's an amazing mom and a nutritionist, and she is available, has been available for me for those spot questions regarding nutrition. At any rate, I'm going to let Debora take this from here. Well, tell us what you're doing these days and then take us into your presentation.
Thank you so much, Mark. Yes, I'm always available for all those questions about nutrition. I have been doing the same, old same, teaching, being a mom, a full-time mom, full-time professor. And we got some land recently, so we have been dedicating all our time to the land, and it's getting really nice. So I hope one day have everyone there for a meeting, an in-person meeting there would be amazing. Okay, so I will gonna share my presentation here. Okay, let's see. Close here. Can you all see? Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so today we are going back to our book that we're studying. I know we had a few weeks that we had different topics, but now we are talking again about our daily bread, the book that we have been studying for a few weeks by Emmanuel and psychographed by our dear Chico Xavier. The topic of today is a very, I believe, known by anyone. I think everyone has had some type of experience with anxiety. I think it's a normal part of life. But understanding the point of view from Emmanuel is very special. So I have a short presentation and then I have some topics for us to discuss because I think we can learn so much from hearing each other and just listening each other's experience and how we have been dealing with anxieties and what we do to improve ourselves. So every topic of our daily bread starts with a verse from the Bible, and this one is not different. And in this verse is from Peter, and it says, "Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you." And I think it's an amazing verse that sets the tone for this great topic that is anxiety. And anxiety is something that we have been, I believe, experiencing more and more in our daily lives because we have this fast-paced society and it's just a lot of information that we have, a lot of things that we have to deal in our daily lives. So I think anxiety is something that it's present in our lives. So I want to start just with a quick definition from the dictionary about anxiety, and it says anxiety is an uncomfortable feeling of nervousness or worry about something that's happening or might happen in the future. And when I read this sentence, especially might happen in the future, to me was very interesting because I could see in my journey how many times in my life I got myself thinking about there was a situation happening, and in my mind, that situation would play something that was just oftentimes dramatic, oftentimes negative, and maybe it's all the soap opera that I watched when I was a child, but it was just like this whole story that I would create in my mind that would lead to more and more anxiety and more stress and all this worry feeling that just didn't help at the moment. And oftentimes, when the situation evolved, nothing of that story that I created in my mind actually happened. So I created a story that was negative, that set the tone for a lot more anxiety and a lot more worriness, and did nothing happened, or the situation developed something that was not what I thought. And that made me think, like, after doing that so many times in my life, I start just analyzing and decide to reflect and just stop my mind when I go to those places. I decide that no, I have to stop myself before I go there, before I create all this story that will not gonna happen. I have to control my mind. I have to control my thoughts so I can control my emotions. And so when I read the might happen in the future, I could really relate to that. I feel like oftentimes human beings, they are in the future, and I can relate a lot to that, or they are also in the past. So they are regretting things that they have done, or they haven't done, or they have said or haven't said. But we have this tendency to be in the future or to be in the past. We don't really stay in the present. But the reality is, we only have the present. That's all we have. We have the here and now. But we have this tendency to go to the future and go back to the present, to the past, very often. And that leads to anxiety, it leads to stress, it leads to worry, and also to regrets about the past. about the the National Institute of Mental Health. They say that feeling anxious is a normal part of life, and the main cause that they note for people to get anxious is their health. And when I saw that as the very first on the list, I thought was surprising because I don't think human beings care so much about their health unless they lose it. When they find out they have a disease, oftentimes they get worried, they get anxious about it. But oftentimes I don't see a lot of prevention. I don't see a lot of taking care of themselves when they are still healthy. Other reasons for concern, money, and we know money, especially when you don't have, it can be challenging and it can be in your mind a lot. But I always said that I didn't want to be a millionaire. Of course, I decided to be a community college professor. I don't want to be a millionaire. But the reality is, I feel like when you're very poor, that all we can think is money because we live in a place where we need money. So the bills come, we need to eat, we need to feed ourselves, we need to pay for rent or mortgage, we have bills. But when you have too much, oftentimes that also leads to worry because it's too much. So the possibilities are different. Like right now, maybe you have a car for transportation. If you're a millionaire, maybe you want a helicopter, and then you need a pilot, and then you need more and more. So there is also not a whole lot of peace when you have a lot of money. So money is also a big reason for anxiety. School or work, family, friends, relationships, those are also other causes of anxiety for most people. And then the same National Institute of Mental Health also differentiate what is normal anxiety and what are anxieties that is more like a disorder. So normal anxiety is temporary, situational, and is also proportionate to what is actually going on in your life. So let's imagine you are going to have a job interview, and it's not just like a gig, it's your dream job. You have been going to school for many years, and after all that effort, now you finally got that job interview. It's normal that you're gonna feel more anxious because you really want that. You have been dedicating your life for that. So it's normal that you feel more anxious. Different than if you have a small test for school that is not really like you already have an A and that will not going to really change your life. So the anxiety levels are different. And when it's a normal anxiety, it's proportionate to what actually is happening in your life. Anxiety disorder, there are many types that they classified as anxiety disorder. All types of phobias can be classified as that. OCD is another one, and then panic attacks is also a type of anxiety disorder. What they have in common is they are more intense, they are irrational, so it's not necessarily like a job interview or a test. That is not something specifically that you can associate them, and oftentimes they're long lasting. And for those, oftentimes the recommendation is some type of therapy to help with that type of disorder. And we see, I feel I hear more and more about panic attacks. I think it's more common in our society. And oftentimes I've never had personally, but I know several people who had in their past. And oftentimes what they say is that they can't associate to something. So it's not something, oh, I had that very important job interview, or I have a very important test. It's not like that they had something and they had that very specific anxiety moment. It's something that in my mind, I think it's a buildup of anxiety, a buildup of stress that leads to that panic attack. And oftentimes that is more than just the feeling of anxiety. There is physical sensations as well, like fast heartbeat, short of breathness. Oftentimes people get sweaty in their hands. So there is more than just the feeling of anxiety, but there is also physical sensations as well. Now going back to our daily bread, Emmanuel says begins the chapter saying that anxieties trigger many crimes on earth and are never constructive. So we can think that anxiety is a normal part of our life, but it's not constructive. It's not beneficial. It's not something that is helping us. So if we can learn how to control, that is better for us to avoid negative things in our lives. It also says the anxious man has all the odds against him. So again, it's not beneficial. It's not going to help us. It also disturbs our inner peace. So we can see in this visual here that we have the two aspects. We can have all the stress, and we are again in a very fast-paced society. We hear so much about the wars and about politics and about all the crises and the climate. There is a lot going on. There is a lot of negatives, especially if you watch the news. There is always something very negative going on. And we have also our daily tasks. We are all very busy. So all that can compromise our inner peace, especially if we allow that to happen. So how do you set your mind? Let's say you start to work. If you have all that millions of thoughts and all those millions of concerns and worriness, and you have so much to do, oftentimes it's harder for you to work. It's harder for you to actually get done with the things that you have to do. What I normally try to do is I try to calm my mind, especially in the very busy days that I know I have a lot to grade and I have a lot of mails to respond. I myself, I love lists. I'm a big list fan. So I make my list. I have priorities. I organize myself. And then I feel like, okay, what else can I do? I put my essential oils to calm my mind down. I make my tea and oftentimes I put some classic music, and that sets the tone to come back to my inner peace. And then I can produce a lot more. But I notice if I start watching the news and reading the news, I start just panicking about all the things that I have to do. Oftentimes, it's really a barrier to clear judgment. I can't produce as much. So, going back to our inner peace is essential for us to do what we have to do in a clear mind, and is also a source of unnecessary suffering. So anxiety, again, not beneficial and gets more and more suffering for our lives. Emmanuel also says, in opposition to these anxious moments, the lessons about the patience of nature appear in every sector of human pathways. And that to me is very, very special. I'm a very big nature fan. And I really think nature is the best teacher that we can have. I feel like God created nature to teach us everything that we have to learn. And oftentimes we just don't observe enough. We don't connect to nature enough. Because patience to me is understanding that there is a time for everything. It's working towards the direction that you want to go and you want to be in your life, but understanding that there is the right time for everything. So, like the seed doesn't become a tree in one day. We don't grow. Our inner growth also takes time, but it's not just waiting. Patience is not sitting down waiting for something to happen. Patience is understanding, working in the direction that we want to be, working the direction of our inner growth, but understanding that there is enough the time for everything. So we're not gonna leap, we're not gonna jump in our evolution. We have to keep walking. It's more like a crawl evolution than a jump, but we have to keep moving forward in the direction that we want to go. And nature is there to teach us all the time. The seasons, how they change, we are also able to change. So there is, I think, so much to learn with nature. I'm a big gardener, so every time I plant something and then I see the seeds sprouting, it's just a miracle. It's a miracle of life, and to me, is a lesson that we can also sprout. We can also allow ourselves to grow. Emmanuel also says, if human beings could reflect more sensibly, they would be able to recognize the actual context of service that the moment of each day can offer. And service is something that is really amazing. And I feel like sometimes we associate something big that we have to do, but even small things can be service, like listening to a friend, or sometimes not even a friend, sometimes just somebody who needs to talk. Just listening is something very powerful. I have been part of the union in my job, and sometimes I listen to other faculty, and sometimes I feel like I'm not helping enough. I don't have all the answers, but they feel so thankful just to be able to talk to someone, to complain to someone, to vent to someone, and I'm glad to be that listening ear. But sometimes we just need to talk, and just talking, we can see things more clear. So listening can be a type of service, and I feel like the other day I heard a song. It was in Portuguese, but the song said something about we are constantly inspiring others, and that made me reflect on how we should take the responsibility for the what we inspire to others, or what we give to others. So we hear a lot about influencing each other in this social media world that we live, but I feel like we really influence each other, and it can be in a positive or negative way, even without knowing, without trying. We are constantly inspiring others, so taking the responsibility to inspire others in a good and positive way is for sure the best. Yesterday I saw something that was amazed me. We live in a place where there is a trail, like a walking trail next to us, next to our house, and there is like oftentimes trash in the trail, and my husband and I, we are always picking up and putting in our trash, just cleaning up the trail. And we never really say anything besides sometimes we get a little mad to people who throw the trash out like that. But we never really say it's like, oh, we should clean, or we just do it. And then yesterday we were at the park. I was at the park with our dog and our son, Thomas. And I was throwing the ball, and then I saw something like, oh, what's that? Is that another ball? And we got closer, and it was a can. And my son automatically got the can and walked to the trash and put in the trash. And I was like, that was so amazing, because we never really like ask him to clean up or ask him to help us. We just did, and without like talking much about it. And that led him to understand, like, well, people throw away their trash, and it's my job to clean up. It's my job to do my part. And that made a lot more sense to me, like the inspiring each other. We are constantly inspiring each other. And I think like taking the responsibility to inspire others in a good way. If we all had that experience, if we all had that responsibility, we would be in a better place right now. Emmanuel also says, oops, let me go back, jumped ahead here. Without a doubt, the scenery changes constantly, making us to encounter unpleasant surprise as a result of our inadequate attitudes while experiencing happiness or pain. However, the law imposes us to proceed daily in the direction of goodness. And to me, what came to mind was that life is a roller coaster. It's always up and down, up and down. And if we are in a steady line, we know what that is, right? It's death. So we have to have the ups and downs. We can't run. It's just part of life. We are constantly changing. We are constantly being affected by what happens to us. And it's not necessarily what happens to us, but how we lead with what happens to us. And when I read this paragraph, to me came to mind the sentence that Emmanuel said to Chico when Chico was having some difficult moments, and asked for Emmanuel to inspire him in some way. And then Emmanuel said, "This too shall pass." And she was like, "Oh, that's it? That's it?" But then made sense and makes so much sense to me. Makes so much sense. This too shall pass. And in every moment, not just in the bad moments, but also reminding myself when I'm in a good moment, it keeps me humble because I know it's a moment. It's a moment that I should enjoy, but it is a moment. I will gonna have other moments that will not gonna be as positive. And then in those not as good moments, um, when maybe you find out a disease, maybe you lose your job, maybe something negative happens. And when it happens, sometimes you don't even really see the light at the end of that tunnel. But reminding yourself that this too shall pass for sure helps. Reminding yourself that God is always, always with you for sure helps. Anxiety will try to coerce gentle hearts because celestial pathways unfold many dark corners and almost unsolvable problems. And to me, it's very special that there is a word almost unsolvable. Because I believe if God gives you a problem, it's because you have enough strength to lead, to deal with that problem. There is nothing that God would give to us that we wouldn't be able to actually pass, to overcome. So sometimes we might be in that end of that tunnel and we don't see the light yet. But we have to keep going. We have to keep walking because we do have enough strength. And the reality is, we wouldn't know how strong we are if we didn't have the difficult moments, if we didn't have to be tested to see our strength. And after we overcome the issues, we can look back and think like, wow, I did it. And we can feel proud and we can feel that was worth because you feel more empowered at the end. You feel more prepared and more confident in the next ones that will come. Because again, the life is a roller coaster. You better enjoy the ride. And I saw this image that to me was very significant because we have moments in life where we have to decide. We have to decide which way we are going, and we don't really know. We don't really know what is going to happen if we take one or the other way. And when we look back, oftentimes we can have only the feeling of, okay, I made the right decision or not. In my life, I had the experience of moving countries. The first time I came to the US was just to do part of my PhD. So I was like, oh, yes. And then I go back to Brazil and my life is going to be great there. But then I made the decision to come back here and make my life here. And that was a big decision. That was a hard one because we just don't know, like, and if it doesn't go well, if it's not as I planned, it's a country that's not mine. How are gonna be my life? So making that decision was for sure extremely hard. And then we moved to Salt Lake City because my husband has family there. And after 7 months, I was like, no, I wanna move back to California. And making that decision was also very, very hard. But today I can only look back. I don't know. I don't know how my life would be if I'd stayed in Brazil, if I'd stayed in Salt Lake City. But I can look my life now and think and feel that I made the right decision. And to me, to make those big life decisions, we have to always be with God and ask God. And to me, is clearing my mind, meditating, being around nature, hiking, being by a lake or by a river or by water, by nature. That's what cleared my mind, and I can really like feel what's my path. And to me, that's God talking to me, God helping me to make the decision, to the best decision for my life. So I'm always thankful that God is always inspiring me for those moments. Emmanuel also says, place your concerns and fears in the hopes you have in the celestial Father, because divine love desires the well-being of all of us. And that is the reminder from Peter, that's cast your anxieties on him, because he cares for you. And only God can really help us in every moment, right? So in this image, we see he's at the top of the mountain, and we have those moments where we succeed and we are happy and we have the joy. And it's easy to feel the gratitude in those moments because we're at the top. But keep in mind, this too shall pass. And other moments will come, and you're gonna be in that dark spot right there again. And God is always with you. In the good and the bad moments, God is always with you. So cast your anxieties on him in the bad and in the good moments, because he's the only one that can actually help us. And then Emmanuel also ends this topic saying, it's just a strong desire, the victory of the light, to persevere in search of peace, to discipline yourselves for your union with the superior planes, to insist on synchronizing with the more evolved spheres. And to me, there are specific words that really resonate a lot, like the search of peace. It's easy to go back and forth with our inner peace, but the perseverance in maintaining ourselves in peace, that's essential, always. Especially in this busy world that we have, and the discipline. Discipline is something that for sure we need in so many aspects of our lives. And I think it's extremely important reminder for all of us. Some key takeaways from this topic. Patience is essential. And again, patience is not sitting down waiting, it's working towards our inner growth, but understanding that there is the right time for everything. It's not in our time, it's in God's time. And we need to keep working to improve ourselves. So being patient, understanding that there is the right time, but we keep working, we keep growing, we keep in the path for the goodness. Another one is that is just here and now. So keep our minds in the here and now can avoid a lot of that anxiety. To me, it's a constant reminder because I'm the one constantly in the future, worried about what I'm gonna do next, and I need to keep reminding me that that is just now. We only have the present. We only have what we have right now. Serve others. So what are you doing to serve others, how we are serving each other, and also how are you being responsible for what you're influencing and inspiring others. To me, I'm taking this more serious, and of course I have a son, and raising a child to me is it's the most important job that I'm performing this lifetime. And I really take this serious, being responsible for what I'm inspiring on him and, of course, my students and everybody else. But taking the responsibility for that, I think it's very important. And then remain hopeful during the difficult times. We are going to have difficult moments, but reminding ourselves that God is always with us, always, always. And also that there is not big problem for a strong person. We can overcome the problems that God give us. We have enough strength. We have enough courage. If we didn't, God wouldn't give this to us. And then I want to finish with some discussion questions for you. You don't have to answer all of them. You can add other questions. But just to start the conversation, I come up with some questions. So what makes you most anxious? How do you deal with that anxiety? What do you do to remain present? How do you keep yourself in the here and now? And how do you serve others? Or maybe how do you best serve others? What is your experience that you notice like, wow, I'm really good at that. And that's how I really help my brothers and sisters. So thank you so much. And again, feel free to answer the questions that you feel like.
Deborah, that's awesome. Yeah, we're all going to open our kimonos right now and reveal our inner realities. Okay. I think I think um, as I grow older, it's less about me and more about others or other things anyway. In particular, my two young men, sons, they're off on their own, carving their own path. And as you've as you've indicated, you get more serious with age about being a model of consistency, not a role model necessarily, but a model of consistency. And that has some wonderful, in my life, some amazing results. Not just on Father's Day, but they routinely call me. I don't have to call them. They routinely call me just to check in, just to update me on how life is, whatever the case may be. That's all a direct result of exactly what you talked about. But there's another reality because even before they were born, my professional life kind of dictated everything along the lines of fake it till you make it. Meaning, if you don't have all the self confidence that you should have, if you don't have all the chips falling your direction that you should have or would love to have, you got to make it look like it's okay. I deal with it. It's all under control. It's all part of the plan, and things move forward. Even though inside you have, major roller coasters going on. And so, it gets a little easier with age. At least it has for me. There's a start.
This is a topic. Thank you so much for your speech. It was very good. All the information you brought and putting together is like a session of therapy. Really talking to ourselves and like make us reflect about our anxieties. Because even though we know not to be anxious, no, not to have anxieties, we still doing, no, we still be anxious, we still worry about tomorrow. And as a holistic therapist for over 30 years, one of the most common clients I had have, and I have, it is called a panic attack. And the panic attack, it is your whole organs, your whole cells, and your centers, your chakras, your bodies, they all get in panic. You freeze it. And if you don't treat, and I'll cause the beginning cause, because what I do regression to back on time to see where that start. Is this life? When and how can I help this time? And if it's past life, sometimes we have to go because if something left illness from the past life and cause your death from the past life, you carry in this life to be healed. That as a spiritist, that what we believe. So what happened is many of all this case, if you not treat, take you to a big sad step, suicide. Because the body start to get tired, the mind start to get tired, and then we start to lose hope. That is one of the things you said. We have to have hope. Jesus taught about anxiety the whole time he was teaching us. He talked about the birds. Look at the birds in the sky. No, they don't work. They don't produce what they eat. No. And look at the lilies in the valleys. Even Solomon didn't wear so beautiful clothes like they do. And who feed them? Who treat them? So that message of Jesus said, no, go to work, don't do, no. It is said, no worries about tomorrow. And I love the message. It is very comforting when Emmanuel told Chico, it shall pass. Everything good shall pass. Everything happy shall pass. And the opposite too. So that is one of the messages on the Christ that keep me always on my feet, because we all have stories. We all have gone through a lot. And in my most difficult time, I will remember about we cannot change 1 minute of our life. What is written, I can change, but no, sorry, forgive me. Pardon me. We cannot putting 1 hour more in our life, in our time. I wish I had done differently. No, I cannot put 1 hour, go back and resolve that. No, I already did. So why worries about something you have done? You cannot change the past. And you said very beautiful, focus today. Even though, like you said, we are not practicing 100% because we keep thinking about the future. And my gosh, everything shall pass. For me, this is one of the second biggest hope that I have in all my difficult times. And you believe me or not, in my most happy times, I already worry what is coming after. So it shall pass, no? So God is amazing Father. He already give you some motivation, energy, happiness, a lot of adrenaline for preparing you for something that will shall come. No? But it is not because it have to come. It's the world we live today. It is in this third dimensional world that we live today. So why we are special than others? Why we have to be better than others? No? If we are that so good, we don't need to come to this dimensional world to live anymore. So we have to focus what I can do better every day. Focus how can I forgive others? How can I forgive myself? And if I could not have done better yesterday or all their lives, can I do better today? And focus on today. It's not easy, but the third things I try to keep focus on today. Appreciate that. Thanks so much. Dave is here with me too. Do you want to say something, Dave? No.
This is beautiful. I agree with everything. It's perfect. Perfect. Good tools.
Thank you, Dave.
Sister, for me, this is such a hard topic because I think it's one of my hardest things. Like I struggle a lot with that. And I think I'm just like Mark and Tanya, and I think that everybody else, I plan the future, and that's what I do for a living. Like I am paid to think ahead. So I think that I'm programmed to think ahead. And it's so hard because like I developed this systemic view of everything. And then of course that I want to do my best, and my best, it's such a high standard, like it's a non-existent standard. So that brings, and as I was thinking, a lot of things that you said, I have a whole page of things to think about. But I was thinking a lot about the knowledge or the information without the wisdom. In my case, it was creating that anxiety because I know about something, but because of my lack of wisdom, because of my lack of moral evolution, I keep thinking about, as you said, like on the dark spots of that situation. Because again, that's what, like, I'm programmed to think about the dark spots so then I can work ahead and then I can correct the course. And then I see that I bring that to my personal life too. And then I think, like, for example, with my daughter, like all the fears that I had for her is, oh my God, if someone bullies her because she, like, because her parents are Brazilian living in another country, and like we don't have family here, and then like how do I prepare her to have a strong voice? And then all of a sudden she doesn't have only a strong voice, she's arrogant because I taught her so much to, you know I'm like, how to balance it? And then I'm like, oh my God, what I do? Like, calm down. So I like, but like it's the disturbance of this inner peace that you brought, and then the barriers to clear judgment and this unnecessary suffering and all those things that you brought. Oh my goodness. Like, and the responsibility that we have, like, like I am the one, like, poor girl, like I am the one teaching her to regulate her emotions. I can imagine that. Oh my, like who is teaching who, um so I think it's beautiful, and I love what you said about going to the nature. I try to do that too. The other thing that I always do, and I think you all heard me talking about that I saw Chico Xavier doing that once, is, like, because of my anxiety, I try to jump very quickly into something or into a situation. So what I do is I drink water, and then I hold water in my mouth and I keep it shut. So then I can't talk. Like, shut up. So I keep my mouth full of water while I am breathing, while I am allowing myself to reconnect. And then I'll use something that Sunshine said, respond instead of react, because my anxiety just like makes me react to things like so quickly. So in addition to the music that you listen, and by the way, I'm happy if you can share your playlist with me, because I'm always looking for different things. I listen one that is whatever megahertz we have, that we get close to the God. I don't know, I use that. It's so good. It helps me so much. I can share with you all too. But I listen to that. I get close to the nature too. I meditate and I breathe as much as I can. I try to breathe. And yeah. And that's what I do, sister. Thank you so much. I have so much to thank. God bless you, sister.
And Kiki, with raising children, it's always hard. I feel like we never know if you're in the right direction. But sometimes, like yesterday, no, I think it was 2 days ago, I was going on a walk with Tom, and from nowhere he tells me like, we can only control our emotions. We can't control others. And I'm like,
Ooh, that's profound.
wrong. Like, I was so amazed. I was like, okay, maybe I'm doing something right here. So like here and there, you're gonna hear something like yes, this is right. Like, and you just see like, I'm sure Viv is very sweet with her friends, and just seeing their personalities, like, okay, it's reassuring that like, okay, I'm doing good things for them, and
Yeah.
you're raising them the right way. But it's always like, you never know. You're
You
trying,
never know.
but it's like,
Like, you just reminded me that, like whenever we have a fly coming into the house, we try to kill the fly. And I avoid saying kill just because like I don't like Livia to hear that we are going to kill the fly. So I say that we're going to catch the fly. And then we catch the fly and etc. And then the other day I was putting her down to sleep, and then she said, oh, there was a fly here. I was like, oh, we got to catch it. And she was like, oh, that's fine. She came here to give me a hug. And I was like, the fly came to give you a hug? And she said, yeah, but I told her, go to the nature. This is not your place. I was like, oh, yes, that's so much better than just catching the fly. So yes.
Yeah, 50% of it is what you teach them. And the other part of it too is recognizing our thoughts behind our anxiety. Okay. What are we thinking? How do we want to process it? All of that is very important. But the most important to me is not to deny it. Recognize it, live through it, because it's a part of life's process, We're going to have it. It exists. I mean, our president gives me anxiety, so I don't listen to the news. I'd rather just stay away from it, and that way I don't have that problem, right? So, but I recognize it, so I stay away from it because I don't want to judge. I don't want to get all into all the politics and all that problem because he's there for a reason. But anyway, I appreciate your talk, and anxiety is a very important thing. We need to recognize that. Good job, Deb.
And just one thing I want to say, pray. Prayer, it is one of the most comforting things. I grew up since a childhood naturally praying the rosary. So, and so all the time I'm praying, I talk, I communicating, and Gina said something very important. It is recognize where it's come from. No, because when we recognize it, and that is 50% healed from this situation, and the other have a hope and pray, give to God what we cannot do. Now that message they said, God, please help me to change things that I can change, and guide me through things that I cannot change in my life. I love that part too. You see, it's not a small topic.
It's not.
Hey, Deborah, it's nice to see you again. Thank you. Well, my timing today was kind of off. I came a little bit late, but what I heard, it's amazing, the material that you presented. And one of the things is that getting into this old age, like we are getting to, it's interesting that how we go into a mode where we want to reflect, okay, what I have done that was not okay, and what I have done that's okay. So it's a natural type of process, and so it's a timely insight. And one thing that I really like, I think the word they used was synchronicity, was it? Or
Yes.
alignment, yeah. So I think that refers to what Regina is talking about, because if you are aligned with trust, faith, understanding, then you move forward. But when you align to fear, to this desperation, and all that, that holds you back. And I think we all part of this process, and that's why some insights like presentations like this kind of give us a little jolt of, okay, wake up, wake up, wake up, because it's time for do this. So because in reality, we don't need to look outside to find out the results of what we have created. Look at what we have. That's the result of what we have created. So for me, it's like it's not what I want to have. Okay, if I want to have richness, have this and all that, I that's not what the divine alignment is about. Because God or the divine is abundance, is prosperity, is everything. So I catch myself still attached to this fear, this despair because of the situations happening around me or that I see in the world outside. So that means, okay, I have attracted myself into this because it's for me to review it and to process it, and because the responsibility is mine. So if I want to change the world, I gotta start changing myself. And if I want peace, I gotta start peace in me. So that's the point. So I really appreciate seeing you again. Appreciate the whatever I have met, but I will see your presentation again. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Oh, happy Father's Day to all of you.
And to you.
Thank you.
Happy Father's Day, Charles. And it's good to
Oh,
see you too.
Okay, let's take 2 or 3 minutes, grab your water, and you are free to continue in dialogue. Kiki, I have one question for you. Can we possibly get together for like 10 minutes? I want you to take a quick look at what I've done financially in preparation for next Sunday.